Well, the 2021 presidential debates. I have been doing debates in this country from 2011, as far back as I can remember. These were very interesting debates for 2021 because Zambia had made history that you had 16, presidential candidates on the ballot paper. And from the organizing, point of view, from a TV production point of view, it was really difficult to do a show with 16 candidates. At a point, we thought maybe we should reduce it to what looked like a two-horse race between the PF and the UPND, but democratically, most of the candidates would not accept that as an aspect of, fair play. So we had to find a fair ground in which we could accommodate, all the 16 players. The 2 days were not easy because we needed to look at accommodating all the candidates with different demands, but also it had its own tense and rather, high moments. But a good experience for the sake of democracy, but one with a very huge learning curve from production. So the initial format of the debate was that people needed to stand as per the format that we had chosen. But like I said, you found that one out of the 16 candidates had just come out of suffering from COVID and had a partial, stroke. So they could not manage to withstand, the 2 hours or the 90 minutes of the debate. So we had at that moment as producers to rethink, and the candidate really wanted to come, and so we had to speak to the rest of them and really just, seek their indulgence and make a format. I think 48 hours before we were planning with a standing arrangement, and it was because of that that on the first day of the debate, our sound output was even affected because we had planned with table mics using the podium, but obviously the fact that candidates were going to sit really affected everything. And when we opted to use, the lapels, we had a lot of interference. So that is what caused, or that was the reason behind the sitting arrangement on the first day. Wow, it was a morning like no other, especially being executive producer and being right at the center of it as a presenter. So it's second day. And the bill, like it's called, because what was happening is that we had 8 candidates in each debate, and every day we would put out a promo, a list of the candidates who were to feature on that particular day. And we did put out who was scheduled to debate that particular day. Obviously, opposition president then, Hakainde Hichilema from the UPND, who is now president, then President Lungu of the PF, President Membe, and everybody else. And I remember vividly that around 10, 11 during rehearsal that morning, I was rehearsing obviously with the director, Jonah then, and I just started receiving phone calls from a landline. And I decided to pick up, the phone when I saw that, it constantly rang. And I just realized this phone call from an officer from State House, very angry and very upset. Why are you advertising the president when you know you didn't send any invitation to the president? Why are you advertising that the president is coming to your debate? Did you invite State House? Was State House aware? And so on. We're giving you, the next couple of minutes to pull down, that particular advert because you are being malicious. You want to embarrass the presidency. You mean no good, and this may cost, the presidency, the election. And I was quite shocked by, this, anger and fire that was coming out of, State House. But calmly, I said, well, our aim was not to really injure or malign anybody. And once that phone call was done, I got back into a rehearsal. But obviously my mood had changed because everything else that was happening. In that moment as well, the UPND had equally released a statement as to, why they were not going to make it for that particular debate because they said they were campaigning out there and transportation-wise, they couldn't managed to come through the debate. So it was also a very dampening moment during rehearsal because, I mean, a debate without Edgar Lungo and Hakainde Hichilema really did not mean a good debate. And obviously the audience, the Zambian public, was really looking forward to a great debate. But also behind the scenes, I can say that as much as the UPND then did give their reasons, as producers spoke to them, they kept on insisting, is Edgar Lungo coming? If he's not going to come, then we're not going to pitch up, you know, for this debate. So much was happening during rehearsal that morning on the final debate day. Did we invite President Edgar Longo for the debate? This is the question everybody says we've never answered, and I think I tried to answer that during the opening of that debate. Yes, we did invite President Edgar Longo for the debate, just like every other, you know, candidate. And one thing must be stated clearly, that yes, President Lungu was, you know, the president, but at that particular point in time, he was contesting the election as president on a party ticket of the Patriotic Front. So he was a party candidate. So every presidential candidate was invited using their party secretary general and their party secretariat. And yes, we did write a formal invitation to the party secretary general of the PF. Stamped letters were given to us, follow-ups were given up to us, and they said they were speaking to their candidate. So he was formally invited. And for State House to say that there was no invitation subsequently in their press release was a misrepresentation of facts, that you know, Diamond TV did not invite him. So yes, President Lungu then was invited through, you know, the Patriotic Front Secretariat. Well, so one other thing that I need to make mention is that so after rehearsal, we are aware that President Lungu will not come. We are aware that President Hakainde Hichilema will not come. State House then releases this, you know, bombshell on Diamond TV, because our credibility, our integrity really after organizing debates was at stake. Well, State House refuses that, look, you did not invite the president. So, you know, stakeholders were asking questions, really, could this be true? But we had a stamped, you know, letter of invitation, you know, with us. And I can go further in saying that we really did take this matter and handled it calmly and maturely, because, you know, subsequently, a day later after the debate, we did, or personally, I did receive a phone call from a senior, you know, government official then, who asked me whether I was planning to release the invitation and how embarrassing that would be to the presidency then. And one of the things they said is, you know, just handle it maturely. God will reward you in heaven if you don't release that letter. But I mean, that's why we're telling it as a backstory. Bygones are bygones. The election is now over. So we decided to carry on with the debate. But the mood for the entire production team, from cameramen to the sound crew to the production team, I mean, I've never seen my team dampened like that. People were sitting in the car. Others were calling, why don't we just release and clean our name, and so on. But we decided to go ahead with the debate. With the candidates that you know, were available that night. Some who didn't appear on the previous day and opted also to publicize themselves as being on the bill on that particular day. So the debate did go on against all odds, and obviously on that night, sad enough, President Hichilema not coming through, President Lungu not coming through, Fred Membe of the Socialist Party as well, after confirming that he was running late, not coming through. But nonetheless, we held a debate, or 2 days of good debate. Though going forward, I believe that this is something that all candidates, whether incumbent or aspiring in the opposition, must be able to attend.